Clinton Griffiths, the editor of Farm Journal Magazine and the host of Ag Day TV, bringing you the latest in the livestock industry. Now, right now, the entire agricultural industry is in a state of transition, and the story is different depending on the commodity. While grains have come off of recent lows, livestock are staring at better prices in 2024. USDA releasing its latest forecast, putting farm and ranch profits at $140 billion. That's a decrease of $6.5 billion relative to 2023. After adjusting for inflation, the decrease is even bigger. That's 28% below the 2022 record high, but it's still 15% above the 20-year average. Much of the decline in income coming from falling cash receipts led lower by prices for corn and soybeans. However, better livestock margins are helping improve the overall picture of the ag economy, with cash receipts expected to end the year near $267 billion. That's up more than 7% year over year. Receipts for eggs, cattle, calves, milk, and broilers are forecast to rise when compared to 2023. What's helping the livestock side of the balance sheet? Inventories. Currently, the U.S. cattle herd is at a 70-year low. Ag Day's Michelle Rook shares an update on the state of the beef industry.
Market experts tell me that while herd contraction is slowing, it hasn't reversed, which could keep supplies tight and prices strong for a while. Cattle numbers are record low. In lieu of USDA's mid-year cattle inventory report, CattleFacts released their own projections, estimating beef cow inventories 400,000 below a year ago. Beef cow slaughter has been down sharply, but not enough to overcome the record low beef heifer inventory as of January 1st, 2024.
It's pretty unavoidable that it was still ticking smaller yet year over year as of July 1. It still looks like it'll be fractionally lower as of January 1 of this coming year.
He says beef replacement heifer inventories are likely steady to slightly higher, but remain historically tight. Estimated up a narrow 50,000 head from last year, but will be influenced by the return of drought.
The point is that that's only fractionally so, and numbers are still more or less at cycle lows and record lows. Dropping below the prior lows in the last cycle.
CattleFacts also projects the 2024 calf crop to be record low, reflecting a smaller breeding herd coming into the year.
We're anticipating that this year's calf crop will be about 700,000 head smaller, or down around 2% compared to 2023.
That will continue to translate into tighter feeder cattle and fed cattle supplies.
Certainly with the placement distribution, we're looking for tighter fed cattle supplies for the remainder of the year. That should be price supportive.
And it also sets up an optimistic 5-year outlook.
We're still seeing in that time window, a cycle high will see price and supplies increase and markets contract. But at the broader view of this market, we still have a very positive view for the market overall because beef demand has been so robust.
Yet he sees increased volatility and cautions that while rebuilding has been slow, producers will still respond to higher prices.
Slow rebuild is just not the way markets work.
That, combined with increased efficiency, higher carcass weights, and the beef on dairy revolution, will offset the lower numbers now and for the next 5 years.
Strong demand and falling grain prices helping to improve cattle margins in 2024. Now, according to the Sterling Beef Profit Tracker, cattle feeders saw profit margins of roughly $95 per head at the end of September. Strong cattle prices, however, continued to weigh on packers as their profits remain negative, with a loss of roughly $18 per head. For cow-calf producers, Sterling estimating that ranchers will see $527 in profit per cow. Now, that's forecast to go up another $100 per head next year. Livestock economists say while herd expansion is probably another year or two away, prices are forecast to remain higher, but better margins aren't a guarantee.
So the latest forecasts are about 4 pounds of beef per person less available 2 years from now. And that's consistent with 2 years from now, we're holding back more heifers, so there's less in the supply chain. If nothing else changes, that would correspond with higher cattle prices than we have today. And that is what I expect across all weight classes over the next 2 years. But an important point here is that doesn't mean record profits, because the cost of raising maintaining the cow herd, turning that into, edible beef and so forth. The costs are up. Economy-wide inflation is connected to the discussion we just got done having. So it's important that we recognize that, yes, cattle prices and many prices in our economy are higher. Doesn't mean that profit margins are higher for everybody.
Meanwhile, on the pork side of things, Sterling says farrow to finish hog producers are finally in the black, seeing roughly $15 per head profits. But that follows a tough couple of years. And how long can those profits hang on? Well, economist Lee Schulz at Iowa State says in 23, Iowa pork producers lost an average of $32 per hog, beating the record set back in 1998. In 24, he's forecasting a full year average loss of $6 per head and losses of $3 per head in 2025. Now, if realized, Schultz says 23 through 25 will go down as the worst 3-year period for profitability in hog production for Iowa ever, worse than even 1997 through 1999. Although China has slowed its overall meat imports, July pork exports in the U.S. continued to trend higher. The U.S. Meat Export Federation saying at mid-year, global demand for both beef and pork remained strong. Through July, beef exports are up 6% in value, even as volumes decline a couple of percentage points due to higher cattle prices here at home. While pork exports through the first 7 months of the year, they were up 4% in volume and 6% in value. On the dairy side of the aisle, USDA economists say dairy supplies remain relatively tight amid strong demand. USDA Outlook Board Chairman Mark Jekanowski says the nation's dairies are churning out more milk, but not as much as had been expected and not as much as the market would like to see.
Heifer supplies are relatively tight, so cow inventories are lower than we'd probably like to see them. Milk per cow is also lower than we'd expect as well, so that's tightening up supplies.
He says margins are pretty strong as well, given the relatively lower feed prices right now. And he says consumer demand is also higher and shows no signs of letting up. Cheese demand also pushing barrel cheese prices toward record highs. Dairy analysts say there's a lot of factors pushing toward that price momentum.
The momentum of the barrel price moving to record highs was part of the reason because of 13 consecutive months of lower milk production in the previous year. That has tightened barrel supply significantly, which then caused buyers to become aggressive. And then they began leapfrogging over each other in order to obtain the supplies that they need to meet the demand.
Schmal says the last time barrel cheese prices reached a record was back in November of 2020, when the price reached $2.53. As the agricultural economy braces for better days ahead, America's livestock producers are leading the charge. I'm Clinton Griffiths. Thanks for watching.